Hello, everybody, and welcome to In Our Humble Opinion. My name's Chachi. Today, going solo. Tom's not feeling very well, so we're going to get started on last week's divisional round, and we're going to go into this week's championship round. And I'm happy because my team's in there. The Ravens are looking good. So, anyway, we're going to go over the games first from the divisional round. We had some good ones. We'll do them in the order at which they were played. So, obviously, first was the Houston at Baltimore game. Of course, a little biased Ravens fan, but I'm going to try to be as fair as I can be, which I think I am, but you never know. I'll let you guys decide. Um, so Houston came out, played very well in defense, was doing a great job. They switched up kind of what they were doing. They were blitzing a lot, which was not usually their forte. But they did a great job of kind of like containing Lamar and keeping them running laterally. And when the offense for the Ravens were trying to push the ball down the field, taking a little too much time. He did a very good job, especially Harris on their team. He did a great job of tackling. He did a great job keeping Lamar in front of him because he's very elusive and tough. As for the Ravens defense, they were doing great. CJ Stroud was still making plays. I love that guy, by the way. They're going to be really good in the coming years. I know people say you don't want to say that because you never know, but they're only going to get better. They're going to sign better linebackers, better like pieces on defense. But D'Amico Ryan's did a terrific job. They got a punt return at the very end, near the end of the half, and really flipped the game. It was 10-10. You kind of held the tension brewing. Then apparently, by what people were saying, Lamar and them in the locker room, and they kind of were like, "Hey man, we got to do better." And then the Ravens did what they always have done this year. They really just came out firing, blew them off the field. Offense looked really good. They started running Lamar more on keepers and throwing little short to intermediate passes. They did a great job of adjusting. Like I said, Texans going to be a good team. Love the fight they showed. Ravens just right now their year playing a lot better. Defense looked really good. Again, like Tom said, structurally the corners, they didn't have Marlon Humphrey, who's their best corner. Structurally, that is the weakness of their team, but they have all overachieved thus far, so it's been impressive. So we'll see if that continues. They have a tough opponent this weekend. We'll talk about that next, and I think it's gonna be a great game, and we're getting into other stuff. But okay, we'll go to the second game. Now, Packers against 49ers. This game was wild because Green Bay started off hot again. The only issue, me and Tom, we had like a pre-show meeting, talked about it. The problem with Green Bay is they weren't getting touchdowns. Heck, they missed. They went for it and didn't get it, so they missed 3 points there. They should have had at least 9 points. Should have probably had 21 if they did everything right, and that ended up killing them at the end of the game. Now, my takeaway from this game is they gave you a blueprint on how to play the 49ers as far as how to play defense against them because Brock Purdy did not look good in this game. Now, it could have been the weather, and I do think he's a good quarterback, very good quarterback. A young quarterback, though, still growing. Going to make mistakes. This is absolutely a team, excuse me, that is runs better in structure. When they're off platform, everything, Brock Purdy, and he's not reading the plays right. You make him look to the second read a lot. Make some mistakes. Honestly, though, I don't even think that was his problem. I think he does a good job of processing. I think his issue is he just was inaccurate today. Maybe it's a wet ball kind of issue, but he just saw some of those throws he couldn't make. He was missing people. I do think he will play better because, as you can see by the final score, 24-21, the 49ers didn't win this game, but I was not impressed by the 49ers, and I do think it's going to be a heck of a game this weekend coming up. I do think they're a very good team. My thing is just when everything doesn't go right for him, if Debo's hurt, which he might be banged up, it's going to hurt him in this game against Detroit. We'll get into that. But I thought Green Bay played a great game. I thought the last pick by Jordan Love was not a good decision, but he's a young quarterback. He's going to make mistakes. I do think he played better overall than Brock Purdy. Everyone's saying this stuff. I'm like, he did play better. And if you didn't watch the game, that's your fault. I'm tired too that we allow this. You can play bad for a whole game and just have one. Your team can keep you in it. You can have one good drive, and then we're supposed to sit there and be like, "What a great game!" No, you didn't play a great game. You made the last drive you did good on. We can give you credit for that, absolutely. But let's not act like the guy played great. It's the same way when a guy throws a bad pick at the end of the game. We're gonna act like he didn't keep his team in there when the number one seed's the other team. That's impressive. Jordan Love and the Packers have a lot to be proud of. In fact, I'm going to get into this just a little bit. I want Tom to talk about this more because he watched the team more closely and knew about it. I think it was a blessing in disguise from the standpoint of Joe Barry. I think if you make it further, he gets to keep his job. And I think from what Tom was telling me, that defense needed to change. So I think it works out perfectly for him. They had a new D coordinator. team's going to be back next year with all these young, talented players. It's going to work out well for them, believe me. I, the 49ers, though, I think you're fine. I think Brock will play better when he's not playing with a wet ball in wet weather. And I don't think the rest of the ways have to deal with that. But I also think Detroit's going to pose some challenges for him because now they see how you have to defeat him. Okay, you see how you play this team. And if Debo's hurt, it's a big loss because Debo's huge, man. That's a big weapon. They like to get the ball in his hands. He breaks at least 2 tackles every time. He's a very versatile player. He's a great player. It's a very talented San Francisco team. They're going to be a tough out for Detroit. Okay, so we'll go into the next game. The next game, I believe, was Tampa Bay at Detroit. Now, this game was actually a very good game. I thought Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay lost 31-23. Baker Mayfield played terrific in this game. I was really impressed by him. I think Tampa should give him a contract, let him be their quarterback for if you want to draft a guy and like have him for 3-4 years down the road, 2-3, whatever. I think that will work out. But Baker's shown a lot of promise. Him and Mike Evans have a good connection. Now my problem with that is apparently they want to offer Mike Evans a contract. You need to get him back because they have good rapport. I thought Tampa Bay ran the ball a lot better than they normally do, which is wild. They've done that all playoff long. They did it against Philadelphia. Detroit, though, a lot of moxie. They're there. Definitely their head coach. Tough. Defensively, C.J. Gardner-Johnson being back really did help. He's making plays. He's kind of like brings the toughness to that team. I thought Detroit's offense, Jared Goff's just steady. I mean, me and Tom talked about it. He kind of has a ceiling, but the guy also is a really solid player. And if you give him time and a good pocket, he's going to beat you all day. And Sun God's a monster. Laporte is a very good tight end. Their pass rush with Hutchinson solid. They're a pretty solid team. I think they're peaking at the right time. Like I said, Tampa Bay, I think they're like Green Bay. You can be proud of your season. No one thought you would get that far. And the only difference is Tampa Bay's got a lot of questions. Green Bay doesn't. We'll see how it goes. The only question they don't have is their head coach. And we have to get into this. I love Todd Bowles. And you know I like going for 2. I don't have a problem being aggressive. Dan Campbell's one of the most aggressive play callers in the league. Believe me. I understand that. And I like Dan Campbell for that. And he's made mistakes. The Cowboy game, I think he should have kicked the extra point after the couple penalties. I'm like, dude, just let it go. But we got into that. You can go watch that one. But I don't understand going for 2 there. I really don't. Because being down by 8 is still more frustrating than being down by 7. Like 7, you know, if I score, I can tie this game. When you're down by 8, it's like, God, what are we going to do? It's just not. Puts a little doubt in your team, I think. And I just really don't get the math there. I don't get it. I think it's dumb. I think you're just making it harder on yourself. But, you know, be aggressive. It's fine. If hindsight's 20/20, if he gets it, it's a great call, you know. So we'll see how that goes in the future. I think he's a very good coach, Todd Bowles. Love him. By no means saying they should get rid of him. Love the guy. Been a good coach for a long time. Sadly, had to coach the Jets first, you know. But everyone hates, you know. Jets never work out. Here we go. Here was the game of the weekend. We're going to go to this one. Kansas City at Buffalo. Kansas City won 27-24. This was a wild one, man. It was all over the place. First, I want to get the narrative out. Josh Allen played great. He's a great player. Buffalo might have to make some changes with the receiving core. Him and Diggs seem to not be on the same page. But from what I read, Diggs wants to be there. I still think Stefan's a terrific player. I think if you can make that work, keep him. But if you feel like the chemistry's not there with them two, I would get rid of him just because you can get a pretty good haul for him. And for Stefan, I think it would be better for him to be with someone else and get a little rapport with someone new because those two looked off. And, he should have caught the one pass, too. Come on, Stefan. Buddy, I catch that. Love Stefan, too. University of Maryland pride, baby. But Stefan and the Bills played well. They had a good pace going. They were running the ball. They were keeping the ball away from. Both defenses did not have a good game until the fourth quarter. It was weird. It's like they both flipped the switch, and it was really good defense on both sides. And I thought a lot of lucky bounces for both teams. It was really odd and very weird. It was just a different kind of game. The fourth quarter, first 3 quarters were really competitive. A lot of running the ball. No defense really had no effect on the game on either side. It was just score, 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 score. Not a lot of punting going on. It was wild. And then the fourth quarter hit. Both those defenses finally kind of like stood their ground. And we got to get into this. McDermott, I don't get and I get it. McCole Harmon ends up fumbling out of the end zone and gives the ball right back to you, so you're fine. But this one's not hindsight 2020. It was dumb. You ran a fake. The DeMar Hamlin thing's neither here nor there. Maybe you thought it would get him. That's fine. I think that's just a little caveat that ended up being in it, but if it wasn't DeMar Hamlin, we wouldn't be talking about that, whoever it was, because they do that with special teamers all the time. The Ravens used to do it with Levine, who was a very good special teamer, and they would run that play with him, the fake up the middle. I just don't get the call there. You played desperate, and I don't like that. You played like you didn't have the game in your hand. They were doing a great job of keeping the game in their hand. I love it. Josh has one problem, though. I saw it. Luckily, they recovered the fumble. He fumbled the ball at the end. He gets a little careless in the open field. I am worried about his longevity doing this, but we'll see how that goes. And now I'm going to get to the Chiefs. I told everyone before the start, you saw it. They are the champs. To win, you have to beat the champs. They played like champions. They kept the game close, and at the end, you could say what you want. I told you the refs will make calls, and they had that one call in this game that was ridiculous. They called a holding penalty when the ball was clearly still in the quarterback's hands, Pat Mahomes. That's crazy. You can't do that. You can't throw it 5 seconds. The NFL keeps making themselves look really weird. Like in this game with the Ravens, they're picking the crew that always favors the road team, which is kind of weird because they do it for this game. The Taylor Swift thing, it's like, I don't believe in that. I think it's fine. I think I will measure this by the calls they make. It's only a problem if you're watching a game and you're like, well, that's a really stupid call. They're just calling it on the home team for no reason. We'll see. If it's a fair game, if the Ravens are holding a bunch of people in that game, that's their fault. I'm not blaming the referees. I don't care what his stats say. It's their fault. They played sloppy football like the Eagles did all year. They were a mess in the secondary. You play like that, I'm sorry, I can't give you love. But Pat Mahomes played great, made the plays when they needed to be done. Heart of a champion, like I said, the Chiefs, heart of a champion. Love Jason Kelsey, love the Swifties. All this stuff's funny. It's hilarious. I love it. Having a good time, party, take your shirt off, man. It's great. I'm glad they're going to be bringing that energy to Baltimore. It's going to be great. Ravens are bringing out all the people. It's going to be a hell of a game. We're going to get into that right away. We're getting into that right after this, but it was Kansas City showed you. They're the heart of a champion, and Pacheco, that man runs harder than I've ever seen a human run. And here's the thing no one's thinking about. Rasheed Rice has played a lot better. He looks really good. He's got that speed, a little shiftiness. He's tough. Tony plays. I know everybody makes fun of him, but Tony gives you a shiftiness that you don't see. Another weapon. I'm telling you, he might drop passes, but he also might make plays. He's a good player. When he's at his top level, he's a good player. He really does. He has that in him. He also might drop a couple passes. MVS caught big passes for him. If he catches the ball, he's a good player. It's going to be an interesting game. Now, Kelsey, that's going to be a great matchup. Him against Hamilton or whatever, Queen, whatever they bracket them. I don't know how they're going to do it. Roquan seems ready to play. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. But the Chiefs showed you, heart of a champion. Like I said, you got to beat the champs, and they're coming for you. They're going to play hard. It's going to be a good game. Okay, so now we're going to go into the two championship games. We got them right here if you look. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens, and we got the Detroit Lions at the San Francisco 49ers. Now, it's going to be a rainy one here in Baltimore. We're going to go with this game first. I think Kansas City definitely has the type of team that can make this a really close, great game. I think they could definitely win this game. They have more playoff pedigree. They have a winning quarterback. They have a really good defense. That's the thing I want to talk about. They have a great defense. They're fast, too. Very fast defense. So this could be trouble for Lamar's running and maybe the Ravens in general. But hopefully the Ravens have learned from their games with Buffalo. They always like to run wide. And you could learn from Buffalo yesterday. You learned from Buffalo last game against Kansas City. You run up the middle on them. They're not a wide run team. They're fast. You don't want to get their linebackers moving sideways. You want to confront them with conflict, strength, move them. Okay, that's what you got to do. As for Kansas City, just got to be tough. Pacheco's tough. You got to play like they've been playing all year. Ball control, tough. Go for big plays every once in a while because you have a great quarterback. It's going to be a hell of a game. Now, I want this notion. This is the thing I was talking about. I want this notion to stop in the NFL. We got to stop acting like it's a one-man game. These quarterbacks with their stupid win-loss records, they do help a lot. But it's a team game. You don't win without a team. You don't win without a good coach. I love Patrick Mahomes. I love Tom Brady. They have really good coaches. They had really good players around them to win Super Bowls. They are, if you want to debate who the best quarterback is, that is absolutely fair. Okay? Like, not those two. I'm just talking about in general because I think Tom Brady is easily the best one right now, but just by like, accolades and everything. His longevity. But that's a different debate. I'm just saying Pat Mahomes is definitely the best one now and has nothing to do with the coaching. I'm just saying the championships do because you have to have good coaching. You have to have good preparation. Andy Reid's done a great job. The staff, Spagnuolo, they're a great organization. They know what they're doing. Okay? All love to them. And like Tom and me were talking about, the people on Twitter, don't take Twitter seriously. Hey, people are crazy. And all the fans, stop being cocky. This is going to be a good game. I'm not sending any hate to any Kansas City people. Whatever. Hey, could be a great game. Pleasure playing with you guys, against you guys. Whatever happens, happens. I just hope it's a really good game. Not real sloppy because it is going to rain, so we'll see. But I think it's going to be a great game. If you made me pick, I'd pick the Ravens, but I think it's going to be really close. 27-24, 23-20. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a really good game. Comes down to the kickers. Both kickers are good. I mean, you're flipping a coin there. I mean, honestly, it's going to be a heck of a game, man. It's going to be maybe the weather causes the winner because the sloppy field and all that. I do think the Ravens defense is very good, and I'm interested to see that matchup. But I'm also interested to see the other way because Kansas City has the second ranked defense. This is going to be a really good chess match, tough game. Gonna love it, man. But like I said, I'll pick the Ravens. I'll go with the boys, doing it. Keep it with them. What a great game that's going to be, though. I can't wait to watch it. Now we go to the NFC one, which I think is an underrated game. Everyone's saying San Francisco's going to win, this, that, because it's going to be nice weather. I think Detroit has a very good chance. I just think their momentum's rolling right now. They get a lot of the cities behind them. It's a tough team, tough, gritty team. Their coach is ready. San Francisco's got a little chink in their armor right now. I think they could. The thing with them that scares me is when they're rolling on all cylinders, they can blow you out pretty easily because they're just a team that when the script's working right and they got the play calls right because their coach is a freaking genius. They can blow you out so fast, and that defense is fast. Fred Warner and Greenlaw, who had a terrific game against Green Bay, they're a tough team. I think this is going to be a really good game. I'm going to take Detroit. I'm not going to give a score. I don't like giving scores, but I'll give Detroit 31-28. That's what we'll do. We'll go with that. I think Brock Purdy's going to have a very good game, by the way. And I think San Francisco, like Kansas City, can easily win these games. These are going to be two really good games. I think you got the four best teams. I really do. Even though I can argue that Green Bay kind of rolling, but get into that with Tom. They should have won last week, but yeah, these are going to be great championship weekend, great games. It's going to be amazing. But that's really it. I'll talk to you guys next week. Hopefully Tom's better. He can join us on the show. Wish him and his family to feel better because that's never fun. We all know how feeling sick sucks. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Likes are is always appreciated. Subscribe for more content. And as always, roll tide. Bye guys. See you later.